Hello everybody, welcome back to Race 2. Welcome to Race 2. But welcome back to the Infinity GT Manufacturers Series. A series pitting all the manufacturers against one another. So this is a reverse grid race. So the last video you might have watched or should have watched, and if you haven't watched this, you can go back and watch that and then come back. Was the Laguna Seca race, the opener. We didn't do great. I think we finished 10th, something like that. We didn't have a good time there, but Suzuka, which is the track we're at now, is a track I'm much more familiar with, much more comfortable with, and yeah, I was just hoping generally for a bit of a better sort of performance out of this track. Format is the same as race 1, so 30 minutes inverted commas endurance. I say inverted commas because 30 minutes isn't really an endurance race, is it? It's a sprint race. In the Lexus, and yeah, it's a reverse grid as well, so we're starting actually near the top. The Lexus doesn't get away brilliantly. There's a few cars ahead that get away better, so I think the aim of the game for me in lap 1 was survival, and just make sure I didn't end up in a gravel trap or anything like that. We'll get the race underway in just a second. Yeah, we'll see what this race holds in store for us and indeed everyone else. Try and get the volume right. So LBJ-007 gonna get us away from pole position this time, followed by Mutt 36. The Ford GT should get away well though, so he's gonna have a good run down into T1. Mutt certainly trying to get his nose in before the corner, but doesn't manage to get ahead there. The Paul King and the other Mercedes following him through. Milky got past Milky before he lagged, but he was lagging still in this race. Those connection issues we saw before weren't resolving themselves, and I'm afraid Milky is about to get sort of swallowed up by Thundercat and be rated in the other Lexus. So Thundercat hit a good outing last time. He's up into 6 already. I don't think he started anywhere near the top of the grid because he did quite well last time out. Oh no, he didn't, did he? Actually had a bit of a bad showing. So Thundercat's actually going to want to perform way above his starting position in this one. He's got B rated behind him. B rated's a good driver, so hopefully he can put in a good performance. Let's just jump back up to the top because things are starting to heat up here. The Paul King and Mutt 36 going side by side at the hairpin. I did have a better run going into the hairpin, just basically had nowhere to go. This is letting LBJ-007 run away into the distance basically, so he's now able to pull a gap. Meanwhile, I've now got past Mutt 36. Thundercat's past Milky Bar as well, and B Rated's also making a move on him. We're right up behind the Paul King now. He's looking back from the back of the Mercedes. Unfortunately, the rooftop view wasn't great. You can see the Lexus clambering over the curbs there, and the Paul King interestingly using traction control, so that's potentially to help his tyre wear. A lot of guys do use it. You don't need to use it, you've certainly got the talent to go without it, but it does help your tyre wear. It's just something I've never got into. Meanwhile, Thundercat Mutt 36 going at it into T2. Mutt did get a better one into it, but Thundercat in that NSX just able to stick it around the outside, and Mutt's just going to have to give that one up. B rated up into 6. Tricky Tree followed him through when he got past Milky Bar. Milky Bar now down in 8th, being chased down by the other Alpha, James Harbin. Grizzly King hot on his tails in the Mazda. Has 91 in the other Ford. He's now got Pav 46 all over him. Pav started right at the back of the grid, don't forget, along with Fat Pickles Bro, and those guys seemingly struggling to get through the pack in the early stages of the race. And meanwhile, the Paul King has got... no, he's not got past me. I go for a savage lunge there down into the hairpin. I didn't necessarily mean to do that, he just braked really early for some reason. see he sort of saw me doing that and backed out of what he was doing, and I backed out of the move, and everyone kind of got back underway again. It wasn't expected, but that did let Thundercat back up. Meanwhile, I'm going side by side through Spoon, probably a little bit aggressive from me, but made it work. Poor King's going to have to concede that one. That is going to put Thundercat all on him, because he's had to get out the throttle basically to let me go through, otherwise he would have bashed me wide. So the Poor King and Thundercat looked like they were going to go side by side into 130R, but didn't in the end. So my job is now to chase down LBJ. He's got a few seconds lead now. You can see him there just starting the start-finish straight, 2 or 3 seconds at least, so I need to start chipping away at that. Because I'm going to want his slipstream going into the race, because currently I'm punching a hole in the air for everyone. It's not doing my fuel situation any good. The Poor King actually makes it stick around the outside, but unfortunately just gets it on the AstroTurf, and that's going to let Thundercat through. Going back through the field, Mutt 36 still in 5th, doing a good job. Mutt, he was obviously running higher up earlier on, but that Ford is a handful of a car to drive. Tricky Tree now past B rated by the looks of things. Must have got that move done during that lap. Milky Lag 87. Just come in. So these are called the Degnas. I'll say they're Degnas. I know they've got a name. I seem to think the Degnas are Monza. So if I'm wrong, I'm sure some motorsport elitist will tell me. I did see 2 cars going side by side there. Look like Mutt 36 and the Poor King. Has Mutt managed to get through? What's going on? Mutt's made it through. So Mutt's through past the Poor King. The Poor King's had a terrible couple of laps there. He'll be eager to get a move made on the Ford quickly. That Merc is a good car. That Ford is an absolute beast, so hopefully he can keep his foot in it. See Milky Bar there just causing all sorts of chaos. Look at that. That is internet lag, ladies and gentlemen, demonstrated. That's what we did see in real life, so that's why it was causing problems for people. At the minute it's causing problems for Tricky Tree, who's trying to get past him. Up, 36 in 4th is being dropped by me and Thundercat. So me and Thundercat lapping roughly the same. But he's all on me at this minute in time. I was very conscious he was there, but at the same point it was quite weird, like there was no communication between us, but you'll notice I'm not necessarily always defending my position. I didn't feel like he was going to throw a risky move up the inside or anything like that, and I kind of knew that. So he's got a little bit of lag as well. I think subconsciously we both just wanted to catch LBJ in 1st position. We are gathering him in. Slowly but surely. I mean, we're not absolutely chunking time off him. I do have to defend Thundercat because he did look like he was going to pull a move on there. I just end up having to park it on the Apex because that NSX does get his power down a lot easier than the Lexus does. The Lexus is a big old boat, strong and stable like Theresa May's government, but shreds its tyres whenever you try and get going. And we might be rated in the other Lexus up into 4. So he's having a good time of it. Tricky Tree up into 5th, chasing him down. Milky Bar with all his lag. He's now got Pav 46 and the fiery Porsche for company. Let's see if Pav goes for a move down into Casio Triangle. Milky Bar just stands up. No, he's off the track. He's lagged out. what's happened to the Pool King? He's had a right shocker. He's down in 13th on last and a decade-long lap. So he's had an absolute shocker somewhere. Yeah, he's 15 seconds slower that lap than he would normally be. But let's skip back to the front. We're 10 minutes in now. So I'm trying to reel in LBJ while Thundercat tries to get a move made on me. Looking at fuel, I'm about half a tank. Most people have got a fraction more. I wasn't fuel saving, didn't really feel like I wanted to. B-Rated's now got Tricky Tree for company. Does he have to defend that one? No, just holds it on the brakes nicely. I heard an almighty crash of metal there. What was that? Yeah, that was Milky Bar lagging out. Pav went off as well, but he managed to hold that like an absolute champion. But yeah, these lag issues that Milky Bar's bringing to the table are really causing problems for the driver. You just don't know where he's going to appear from one minute to the next. As far as the game's concerned, it could lag him anywhere in the circuit and end up throwing you off track. But Pav from last on the grid, up to 7th in the Porker. He's running the soft tyre as well, which is the second softest compound. Everyone else going full soft, and he's still running 2-minute lap time, so pretty decent. I think some of us on low fuel were creeping into the 59s. In the race, though, you don't want to take too many risks, so a 2-minute lap is a pretty safe lap. Meanwhile, in terms of the gap from LBJ, we've not really spoke much about him. It's not really coming down that fast. He's lapping consistent times at in the 2-minute mark, and no one can really pull him in. So just have to hope that I can get him on getting post fuel. Thundercat's gone off. It's gone a bit too deep into T1. We've all done it. But that gives me a little bit of breathing room, and now what I can do, you see my fuel level is a lot lower than everyone else. What I can do is get the hammer down now and chuck in some lap times while I've still got some tyres left, and chase after the leader. Thundercat hasn't lost a place with that off, fortunately, but it has put B-Rated on his backside. B-Rated's been dealing with a very intense Alfa Romeo for the last couple of laps as well. And Tricky Tree's been looking like he can get, well, he wants to get past him sharpish. Suzuka does present overtaking opportunities. Coming up is one of them, the hairpin, but B-Rated goes well defensive into there. Can Tricky Tree get a switchback move made, and the Alfa is going for it. The Lexus does have the gun going down it's not a straight really, but the fast section at the back of the circuit. Went to the wrong person, and no, Tricky Tree hasn't got that move made. B-Rated is going to keep that. Pav up to 6th, James Harbin in 7th, Rizzler King and the non-lagging Mazda. He's in 8th with Fat Pickles Bro behind him. What else is going on? Not a lot. The Pool King, like I say, was doing really well at the start of the race, but he must have had an incident somewhere. Did miss out on that, my apologies. So we're approaching, as he sets a new fastest lap, we are approaching pit stop time, so most of the guys will be running a one-stop race. So it doesn't look like there's too much going on track, so we'll catch up with the action when things start to progress. Just looking at something that changed the dynamic of the race a little bit. We've got LBJ in the lead, coming in through sector 2 through the Degners. He's just going to make a little bit of an error, so he's going to get 2 wheels just on the dark green AstroTurf, and it's going to just upset the balance of the car, and off he pops. I'm going to take advantage of that and leap up to 1st place. Now I was in a bit of a dilemma at this point. as to what do I do. So we are 13 minutes in, so nearly halfway. If I were to do another lap, I'd be over half distance before I pitted, which of course I'm okay with. But I just felt like while I'm in the lead, what's the word? What's the word I'm looking for? While I'm in the lead, basically, I'd try and prevent people from getting the undercut on me. So if I stayed out for that extra lap on really warm tyres, I'd lose time. That's the theory. So I decided to come in for a fresh set of boots and some new motion lotion at the end of lap 7. LBJ is going to stay out and reassume the lead of the race, but obviously he's going to have to pit at some point. I'm not sure what Tricky Tree does. Look at the tyres on that Alpha though, look at it. I mean, it's barely got any wear on it. And that's the glory of that car. Its tyre saving ability is absolutely superb. So that's a race winning car if I've ever seen one. Pav's doing well on softs as well in terms of his tyre wear, setting 2-minute lap times, although he's starting to get a little bit slidey on him now. James Harbin in the other Alpha, again, great tyre wear on that car. And I've got superb tyre wear now that I've got brand new ones on, so I'm out of the pits in 5th. The reason I pitted there as well, I did spot this gap that I'd come out in. As long as I got in front of the Thundercat group, i.e. this lot, I knew I could, on fresh tyres, just start put some laps together, and hopefully the guys up ahead would pit before I caught up to them. Thundercat has pitted, so he's on fresh rubber as well. Grizzly King's pitted, so is Milky Bar and Fat Pickles Bro. B-Rated's been in the pits as well. Has91, who has spent a lot of this race running around at the back, has pitted. Paul King's pitted, and so has Lot. I think well, we've got clear track, fresh tyres. We can do a bit of a lap guide of Suzuka. So turn 1, dab on the brakes, trail brake into turn 2. I'm going to grab second or maybe third gear depending on the car into that one. On the power is there, and then into the S's. So you don't need to wait for this one, just a lift to rotate the car. Same for the next corner. You start thinking about the brakes as you go uphill, because the next bit is downhill, then back up again. So down in sight, and again just to rotate the car, you straight back into third just to get the power going up the hill. And then up we go down towards the Degners. I'm probably saying Degners wrong, probably wrong. Take liberties with track limits all you can. And then under the bridge towards the hairpin. Your braking point, you look for an orange board. There you go. And brake just before it. Get the car rotated as soon as you can onto the rear fast section, what I'll probably call it from now on. Let the car drift wide here if it wants to, just to get the speed going. And then coming into spoon, look for the 50 board, brake just before that, snaps down 2 gears, down a further gear into the second part, and on the power as soon as you dare. Just be careful of the curbing on the outside, because you get 2 wheels on that, you're off, basically. And now down to the famous 130R, and the small lift in this car usually just helps you round. Some cars you can take that flat, and the Mercedes can do that flat as well. Braking about 125 metres into Casio Triangle, again taking all the curb you want, and then down onto the main straight. So this is 2 minutes, pretty much flat lap time. Starting to get interesting now as we approach the final part of the race. Pav 46 starting at the back of the grid, winner of last race out at Laguna Seca, has just struggled, I guess, to make his way through the pack in this one. He's going to go for a move on James Harbin and pulls out of it. James gives him the room and nerfs himself in the process. That lets Pav 46 up to 8th. He's now got Milky Bar to get past. But after Milky Bar, it's a fair old gap to Fat Pickles. who's running away in 6th. Fat Pickles, oh, has just made a mistake though, and that's Fat Pickles round. He won't thank me for showing him that one, but that means everyone else gains a place behind him. Par 46 is going to go for a bit of a move on Milky Bar down into 130R. He gets that move made well in advance. I get the feeling Milky Bar's let off the throttle there. Meanwhile, further up, Tricky Tree did get past Thundercat a lap or two ago, must have done anyway, and he's now into 2nd. He's setting some fast lap times as well, is Tricky Tree. And I'm going to point out something that about this point in the race I noticed is fuel levels. So Tricky Tree's got about a third of a tank left there or thereabouts. I'm on about a quarter. The problem with these endurance races is you don't always know which lap's going to be your final lap. So we had a couple of laps left of this one, at least probably another 3. I didn't have enough fuel for that. I had a couple of laps showing, so I now at this point had to really start saving. So lots of short shifting, coasting through corners. At one point the maths just didn't work out and I wasn't going to make it. So if I come home in the place I'm in now, I'm a very, very, very lucky boy. Tricky Tree, meanwhile, probably doesn't know I'm running out of fuel, but will have seen the gap closing. I had a few seconds ahead of him, at least I had like 5-6 seconds at one point. And that just tumbled, so he will know that something is not quite right in my world. So he's probably now pushing to get up there. The Alpha's a bloody fast car anyway. So he's on a charge now. Thundercat has been relatively consistent throughout the race in fairness to him, but he's now fending off the Mercedes of LBJ007. LBJ does poke his nose out. Is he going to go for a move through 130R? He is. He's going to go for it, and that's a well-made move, that, to be brutally honest. That's nicely done for a man who was leading the race for a majority of it. Further back, Rizzler King, who does hold the fastest lap of the race as it stands, a 1:59.5. Kind of on his own in 5th. He's not really got anyone to directly race with, so he can just plump in the lap times, which he is doing now with 2 minutes flat. Nothing's going on ahead. Pav now escaping the horde of cars behind him. B-Rated's got through into 7th. He's got James Harden chasing him down. I did hear a screech of tyres there. What's happening ahead? Nothing. James Harden in 8th with Fat Pickles in 9th after that spin a lap or so ago. Milky Bar in 10th currently. Has91 in 11th in the Ford, and Mutt in the other Ford in 12th, with the Pool King in 13th place. So let's just go on board with Tricky Tree a second, just see what he would have been watching at this point. So I'm defending for my life. I probably know at this point that resistance is futile. You'll notice we just parked the Lexus on the apex there, just get a little bit of snap oversteer, which doesn't help. Tricky Tree had to back out of any sort of move on me. But you can just see the speed difference. I'm having to fuel save a lot. And Tricky Tree, the Alpha, in fairness, isn't the best in a straight line. Look at the speed he's carrying there. He's going to go for a move here. He's had to pull out the slipstream though, which isn't going to help him. I do give him a little bit of a squeeze just to make him think twice of going for this. And he backs out of it somewhat sensibly. But he's going to try and go around me at Casio Triangle. And he's done it. He's got it made. I can't defend against that one. I do try. We just run each other off a little bit. Nothing wrong with that at all. That's Tricky Tree up into 1st position via a very nice overtake. I've now got LBJ to worry about behind. Looking at my fuel levels, yeah, I'm on fumes right now. Everyone else has got plenty. So I've got to defend against the Mercedes. Probably acutely aware that the first is gone and the podium's somewhat assured at this point, but yeah, it's the wind's gone. basically. Anything else happening on track? So James Harbour and Fat Pickles both B-rated, all still relatively close together. In terms of action on track, there isn't a lot more to look at. Other than me versus LBJ. So this is pretty much last lap territory now. We've got 30 odd seconds of the race to go, so I know if I can fend him off, I'm probably going to be good. So I'll go on board with LBJ. In terms of fuel, I know that I've only got a little bit of the course left to run, so I can afford to stretch the revs a little bit more now. LBJ makes a little bit of a mistake coming into Spoon, and that saved me. Because I didn't have to push too hard on the approach to 130R. If he was in my slipstream at 130R, then I'd have probably had it. Unfortunately, he was just a little bit too far back to get side by side coming into this section. But we'll give Tricky Tree a salute as he comes across the line. Well done, good race to be fair. He's deserved that. So first for Tricky Tree, I've held on for second place with LBJ taking the final podium position in third. Rizzler King in fourth, solid race from him. Pav 46 from the back of the grid in fifth. Thundercat in sixth, probably disappointed with that result. James Harbour in seventh, and they were Alpha. Fat Pickles Brown B-rated was side by side across the line, but the Hondas just took it. Milky Bar in 10th, lagged his way to the finish line. Has 91 in 11th in the Ford. The Fords haven't had a great race. Mutt in 12th, and last but by no means least, the Pole King in the other Mercedes. So that's it for race 2 of the Infiniti GT Manufacturers Series. So that's race 2 concluded. Not a bad outing for me, a 10th and a 2nd, so inconsistent to say the least. But in race 1 at Laguna, since we got sent to the Shadow Realm, I can't really complain with a 10th too much. Just disappointed that I didn't get my fuel calcs quite right. Certainly something to work on for future races, but that's my mistake, one I've got to own up to. I think a win was definitely on there, which is a bit disappointing to say the least. The way the Infiniti GT Manufacturer Series works is use Group 3 and Group 4 machinery. So next week we'll be going to Lago Maggiore in Italy and Autopolis in Japan in the Group 4 cars. So practice is well underway and the teams are working on getting the strategies right for that race. Again, the Lexus Group 4 car is quite a solid car, so we're hoping for good results there. And we've got Dawson back as well. So hopefully we'll do well with him in the driving seat. So that's it from me for this week, and we'll catch you in the next ones.